Okay, sixth graders, lesson 4.3, fractions and mixed numbers. And we're going to start by talking about pizzas, okay? And I don't want you to get too hungry, so we won't spend a lot of time on the pizzas. I know it's right after lunch.
I'm hungry.
But imagine that we had 2 whole pizzas to eat and another half a pizza to eat, okay? This is how you would write that number. 2, a big 2, and the fraction of the third. So 2 wholes and 1 half. When you put those together, it's called a mixed number. Because the big number is a whole number, and it's mixed with a fraction. Okay? Pretty simple, right? If you have a bunch of half pizzas, like for some reason you ordered 2.5 pizzas, and they cut them all in halves and then they gave them to you. How much pizza would you have? You'd have what? 5 pizzas?
No, 5 seconds.
5 halves.
Yeah, okay.
You'd have 5 halves, right? How else could you write that? Or how else could you say that?
5/2.
Okay, but you wouldn't say, I have 5/2 pizzas.
I have 5 half pizzas.
You could say, I have 5 half pizzas. Or you could say that you have what? Well,
You could say I have 5 halves.
I already said that.
Oh.
Say it a different way. What else could you say? Jacob.
You could have 2.5 pizzas.
Yeah, you could say, I also have 2.5 pizzas. Okay? Because if you put 2 halves together, it makes a whole. Or if you group them by 2, you've got 2 wholes and a half. Okay? And so what we're going to talk about is how do you get from this to this? How do you get from 5 halves to 2.5? By doing some figuring. Or if you are starting with 2.5, how many halves do you have? So what you do is this. If you're given that you have 5 halves, to figure out what the mixed number is, what you do is do 5 divided by 2, or like this, 5 goes on the inside, 5 divided by 2. So write that down in your notes. You divide the top number by the bottom number. The top number divided by the bottom number. Then 2 goes into 5 2 times. That tells you how many wholes you have. Okay? And it gives you a remainder of 1. This is that remainder. This is the remainder of what we're dividing. Okay? We can't make 3 wholes because we have only a remainder of 1. So, the answer is the whole number. And the remainder is the piece that's, or the pieces that are left over. But where does this 2 come from? What does that 2 mean? Remember what we said the denominator means in a fraction?
So you have 5 halves.
Yeah.
The half just automatically goes there.
Right, right. It's the denominator to keep the same denominator, or you could think of it this way. It's the size of the pieces that we're putting together. Okay? Halves are the size of the pieces we're working with. So we have 2.5.
How do you?
Okay? And so with that remainder, you put it over the divisor. And then write it like this, 2.5. Okay? We're doing division. The top number divided by the bottom number. and then the remainder over the denominator, or over the divisor. That's the number on the outside. Okay, let's go through some examples from your worksheet. Do some together. Let's start with number 7 because that's just exactly what we were talking about earlier. The top number divided by the bottom number. In other words, how many holes can we make if the pieces are cut into sixths? Well, we have to do 31 divided by 6. 31 divided by 6. 6 goes into 31 5 times, because 5 times 6 is 30. That's really close. What's the remainder? 1. We put the remainder over the divisor, which is also the denominator, and then write the answer. And you can write the answer under these. 5 and 1/6, meaning we can make 5 holes from these 31 pieces, and there'll be 1 piece left over. And then